want to introduce to you our first guest today. Her name is Sharon. She's an Ojibwe Native American here that lives in the Twin Cities. Her Ojibwe name is Singing Wolf, and she is the director of the Indigenous Peoples Task Force at the University of Minnesota. She's been an advocate in health and in cultural heritage, dignity housing, and lots of other things with the Native American community for a long time. And she is a Mother Earth water walker, which we will explain more about that. So let's welcome Sharon Day. Way down the water, yeah. Sharon, it is just amazing. I just got to know Sharon recently, and it's kind of humbling to talk to you because of all the things that you've been involved in. And the fact that you are a Nibi walker, did I pronounce that right? Nibi, okay. Which is a water walker, is really something, having walked the Mississippi, the Ohio River, and many other, I think, smaller rivers as well, but we'll talk about that. But one of the things that really struck me when I first was hearing your story was how you describe yourself as having been a bureaucrat, a state-level bureaucrat. I think believing you were doing good, which you certainly were, but then in 1987 your brother died of AIDS and or contracted.
Yes,
contracted AIDS.
He's still alive.
Yay! Yeah. And so that kind of kicked you into a different gear, which said there's something for our people here to deal with these things, and so how can I really make a difference? So what was that transition like for you? Like, what changed for you in that stage of your life, or if that's the way if that's where it happened?
I think the fact that so many people were dying, and for so long, the funding that was available was for particular services a particular way. And because, like I said, so many people were dying, it was like, what did we have to lose by creating something different? Services that were grounded, rooted in Indigenous ceremony and culture.
You talked to me about the fact that you saw people, Native Americans, knowing where their heart comes from, from their Native American spirituality, but yet all the treatment, whenever they needed to fix something, they were going to kind of the normal, everyday, kind of material world for those, and feeling like that was something to try to get involved with.
Yeah, there was a woman who lived not very far from here in this neighborhood, and she was an Ojibwe woman. She was a nurse, and she had an AIDS diagnosis. And in 1990, her doctor told her, go home and get things ready because you have probably about 6 weeks.
Right, it's kind of a death sentence.
Right,
at that point.
and she called me up and she said, I would like to try some indigenous medicine. Can you help me? And I said yes. Go see this man down at Prairie Island. His name is Amos Owen. And so she did, and I think it was right after Christmas. There was a ceremony that people came from South Dakota, and they brought medicine. And Carol lived. She said she wanted to live to see her daughter graduate from high school. Her daughter has a doctorate, and Carol died 2 years ago. So 2013, I think, and she did not die of an AIDS-related illness. So you can see, like, the Western medicine gave up Indigenous medicine. She said, here, I just want to say about my brother. My brother has never had an AIDS, tested positive in '87, but has never had an AIDS-related illness. And just talked to him last night, and he's tiling about the floor in Washington. So
I'm tiling in the shower in my upstairs bathroom, so if he wants to come and help me, that's fantastic. Well, I mean, that's great. And I think that's one of the things that we understand as a community, that we, it's not that Western medicine is either good or bad. Obviously, there's lots of wonderful stuff. It's not that. But it's a both end, and it's even more than the both end. It's the whole person. And you know, how do we see ourselves as whole beings? And for you're helping the Native American population that you have contact with to be able to do that, I think is so important. So one of the things that really does interest me, and I think a lot of other people, is your role as a Mother Earth water walker. And is that something like you've always known that you had this gift or this calling or this role, or is it something you discovered later in life, or how? I'm curious.
Yeah. No, it sort of began with the Camp Coldwater. We tried to save Camp Coldwater in the spring. That's not too far from here on Hiawatha in 1998, and one of the grandmothers, Justin Mandaman, was going to walk around Lake Superior, so I participated in that. And then some years later, a young woman had a dream about bringing that healing salt water from the 4 oceans to what we call the heart of Mother Earth, Turtle Island, the heart of Turtle Island at Lake Superior, to bring those waters and mingle them. And so, so the waters were carried in a copper vessel from each of the 4 oceans to Lake Superior. And nobody wanted the south. And I think it's because if you look to the west, there are a lot of tribal people. North to Canada, Hudson Bay, there's a lot of tribal people. To the east, you have a lot of tribal people. But when you look south, directly south from Lake Superior, you're looking at, Wisconsin, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee. All the places where the tribes were removed west of Mississippi. And so there really wasn't a lot of help, but so I volunteered, and I carried the water from Gulfport, Mississippi to Lake Superior. And I think really that's kind of where the transformation took place. Being with that water every day, being in ceremony every day, that really, and then once we did that, then somebody said to me, well, what are we going to do next? And I thought, well, why should we have to do anything next? I mean, how many other people have walked from, the southern border of the United States to the northern border? Hey, I don't have done that. I mean, shouldn't that be enough? But I began to think, too, towards the end of the journey, well, what else should we do? And one of my friends said, well, maybe we should walk part of the Mississippi. Well, why would we walk part of a river?
Yeah,
so
that's what I always wondered.
Yeah. So we gathered the water at the headwaters, and where you can still drink the water. And we carried it all the way to a place called Fort Jackson, Louisiana, where the Mississippi is. There's just a levee system, and we poured it back.
That's just me. We have a little video clip from the NibbyWalk.com or NibbyWalk, and we'll put it on our Facebook. But this is from the walk on St. Louis River, running Lake Superior up by Duluth. Let's just watch this, and you'll get a little idea about it.
Buju Ninindwe Magani Duk, Nagamo Ma Ingen Indigenous Cause, Wabashashin Dodem, Ojibwe Koi and Dao, Shnijo Madeo, Madewanakoi and Dao. My name is Singing Wolf. My English name is Sharon Day. I'm an Ojibwe woman. I'm 2nd degree Madewan, and I'm Madewanakoi, which is a water woman. I am the head in the lineage in my family of teaching all of the females who come behind me about our responsibility to take care of the water.
Wow. I mean, who has patience to do things like that anymore? You don't walk anywhere, and you don't ride a horse, and you don't drive. You get in an airplane, and now we're trying to find ways we can, have shuttles so that we don't have that long airplane ride. And you walk, but you weren't really trying to prove a point. You were actually, you believed that the walk made a difference, and pouring that water makes a difference. I think that's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about, I don't know, how you can express that.
Well, I think today, and I just want to give a shout out to Keely Kernan, and she's a young videographer who I met on the Ohio Walk and flew out here to walk the St. Louis River with us. But today we're so accustomed to just turning on the faucet and we have water, and we don't have so much of a relationship with it anymore. And when I was growing up, we didn't have running water in our house, and so we had to carry the water. And every morning, that was the first thing we did, was went to the pump or the spring and got the water, and same thing you did at night. And so when you have to carry your water, you use it sparingly, and not only do you use it, but you reuse it, right? And so you have a relationship with it. And among the Ojibwe people, in our ceremonies, women gather the water. We make the offerings for the water, we sing the water songs. We make sure we have enough clean water to drink for 4 days of ceremonies. And we've been doing that since the beginning of time. And so in carrying the water, moving the water has to move to be healthy. When we carry it, people who walk with us, you can actually see the transformation. There was a young woman who met us in Baton Rouge. Her name was Anna, and she kind of came because her friend came. And but at the end of the day, I told everybody she'll be back tomorrow because you can see it. And sure enough, the next day she came back, and then the next day she showed up and she had a skirt, and she was on her way to a job interview, but she said it was delayed for half an hour, so she said, I can walk. And I still keep in contact with her today. Her son came up and was going to the headwaters this fall and stayed at the house one night. But when we have a relationship with water, then we are water. Our bodies are water. So as we develop that relationship with the physical and being of water, we also reconnect with ourselves, and how we treat the water is how we will treat ourselves and each other. As you were saying a little bit earlier, Trump probably needs to drink some more water, right?
You take all this to such a neat step. I mean, I think many people, more and more people are starting to respect our resources and treating water and air as a resource we have to care for. But you really are taking us a step further. You're saying, yes, it's a resource, you're caring for it, but it has intrinsic value. Like, it is something you can have a relationship with. And you talk about the spirit of the water. And I'm wondering if in our scientific way of analyzing things and caring for things and being in a relationship with things, if we don't lose this aspect of the fact that that there is spirit in these things, that they exist in and of themselves.
And so you may know of Dr. Emoto, and I have had the opportunity to meet with him several times over the years, and the last time was about 2 years ago, before he passed away. We had a water ceremony at Lake Superior, but he said some things that were a little different than what he had been saying before. And one of the things he said was, there's a mystery in the water, which is what we say. We say when we walk, we're speaking to the spirit of the water. And that's who we're speaking to, that's who we're singing to, that's who we're asking, sending these petitions to. And Dr. Emoto, he said, I believe that God is in the water. I think there's some songs about that too. But so if you think that, if you believe that there's a spirit in everything, then you have a different relationship, because how can you just treat it? We treat our rivers and our lakes very badly in Minnesota, and 40% of all of our water is impaired. People can't swim in the southwestern part of the state this last year. And so to that end, next spring we'll walk the Minnesota River, beginning March 25th. We'll start someplace over near Ortonville and follow the river down through Mankato, and then we'll end right over here near Fort Snelling. So if you go to our website, nebywalk.org, or our Facebook page, which is Nebe Walks, you can follow the walks. When we walk, we have a spot GPS on our pail, and so every day you can see exactly where we are.
That sounds really neat. Yeah, that's fantastic. You know, I think it would be kind of interesting. Maybe winter isn't the best time to do it, but come spring or something for us to organize a walk of Minnehaha Creek.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of our watershed. We are in the water, and it starts at Lake Minnetonka, goes to Mississippi here, pretty manageable, but I'm wondering if we would do that, what we might discover. And would you maybe help us organize that or figure that out?
I'd love to.
That'd be fantastic. Well, I want you to stay, but we have something else right now, and so thank you for being here, Sharon.
Thank you.